One of the things I just want to make sure I say is that we are dealing with coming out of a pandemic. So if we had challenges before, this pandemic has certainly exacerbated any of that.
The resources for our children aren't always there.
It's emotionally exhausting. I'm always worried. I bring a lot of it home with me. I'm always telling my mom or my boyfriend about it, like just different kids and things they don't have or things I wish they did have, or even personally myself, I didn't even have internet myself until the pandemic because I didn't want to spend money on something that I could put money back into my classroom.
Some families that couldn't get internet because of where their house was, that they couldn't get internet, like it was a bad connection. It's not fair. It needs to be more equitable. It needs to be across. The children need to have access to education based on just that's our program and not on where you live.
A lot of times our students, since we don't have the fair funding, a lot of things we have to figure out to do on our own.
It's affected me, not just for my own kids, but even for districts that are close by, such as like a Pottstown or a Reading, where, through COVID, when everything was shut down, those schools, those poor kids, everything was shut down. They had no access to laptops, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be equal across the board. So I can honestly say I don't feel like it just affects me directly with my family. It affects we're our future, because the kids are our future.
During the pandemic, when we shut down, our school was not a one-to-one school. We were not able to get our elementary schoolers online with Chromebooks. We ended up being able to make sure there was at least one Chromebook a family until May 4th. Districts all around us were up. Some of them were able to start online within days, some within a few weeks. We were a month and a half or whatever that was, or more, actually a little more than that for the elementary. And so we fundraised. We fundraised for Chromebooks in the middle of a pandemic.
What do we need to have in place, given what we've experienced, given that students have spent a year and a half with their learning interrupted, given that there's all kinds of trauma and pain as a result of this pandemic? What do we need to have in place in our budgets, not as extra, but as essential?
The mental health aspect of the community resources, we need to provide more for our kids and our communities. Well, and that's outside of the district, but it's a big factor, especially coming out of COVID, because we don't know what we're going to be seeing, and I know that a lot of kids are hurting.